The MG Windsor has taken India by storm. Very quickly after its launch, it topped the monthly sales charts for electric cars in country, overtaking the Nexon EV. And since then, it has stayed at the top of those monthly sales charts for 7 consecutive months. And before we talk about what's so good on the Pro, let's talk about what makes the Windsor such a popular car in the first place. The interior. The standard Essence variant of the Windsor, which is its regular top-end variant, gets a load of features. It gets a 15.4-inch touchscreen, massive screen up front, ventilated seats, a panoramic sunroof, wireless phone charger, very intelligently designed storage areas around the cabin. It all comes together very nicely in the front. And then there's the back seat with incredible knee room, a flat floor so you can sit here comfortably, very plush seats, and their trump card, these seats that recline to an insane angle of recline. Very comfortable. This is probably the most comfortable back seat at this price point. Plus, the regular MG Windsor was very nice to drive as well. It made 134 bhp and 200 Nm from a single motor on the front axle, and that gave it plenty of performance. And getting up to speed on the highway is very easy. The only drawback was that it doesn't get traction control, so with that instant torque, you can really light up the tires. It's fun, but it's not ideal. Another highlight on the Windsor is its comfort. Ride quality, really nice. They've managed to dial in proper comfort. When you're riding over broken patches of road, bad patches of road, it just feels very comfortable and very stable. And that's a good thing, especially if you're seated in the back seat. And while this isn't designed to be the most dynamic car out there, it'll actually hold its own in the corners. It can steer well, you've got good control on throttle and brakes. It shifts its weight nicely, and while it does roll, it does feel dynamically sound. It's not going to completely catch you out. But the MG Windsor is not perfect. MG's done some really silly stuff, like put all of the controls in the touchscreen. And by all of the controls, I mean the drive modes. You've got the headlamp controls, you've got the ambient lighting, your drive modes, your tailgate position, your sunroof position, your mirrors, all of that is controlled from the touchscreen, and it's quite tedious to use, especially when you're driving. But that hasn't stopped people from buying the Windsor like hotcakes. And now they're expanding the range. Meet the MG Windsor EV Pro. This sits at the top of the Windsor range now, above the previous top-end model. It costs rupees 1.5 lakhs more than that top-end model. And the question we're trying to answer today is, should you be stretching your budget and getting this Pro version, or would you be better off sticking with the regular Windsor? Now let's come to the Pro. What does it get compared to the standard Entice model? You now get V2V and V2L capability. You also get a powered tailgate, and you also get dual-tone white and black upholstery. But the biggest news is you get a larger battery. It's now 52.9 kilowatt hours, up from 38 kilowatt hours on the older MG Windsor EV. What that means is more range. Claimed range is 449 kilometers. Real world should be a little less than that, but we started this morning with 420 kilometers of range on the console, which is pretty good at 100%. Right now, we're at 60% and it's at 250 kilometers. My guess is 400 kilometers should be possible. It's a little hard to gauge range today because we're driving in the hills of Meghalaya, and there's a lot of slopes, you know, it's inclines, declines, and these batteries and motors are very sensitive to changing terrain like that. They keep regenerating and then depleting faster than usual. So difficult to get a hold on exactly what the range will be, but it is certainly more than before, and it is certainly one of the biggest drawbacks of the MG Windsor EV has now been addressed. Now, a bigger battery obviously means longer charging times, and the Windsor EV Pro will take 9 hours to charge compared to 7.5 hours to charge on a 7.4 kilowatt AC fast charger. That's your home charger. But they've tried to fix things for long distances. They've uprated its DC charging capability to 60 kilowatts, which means when you plug it into a 60 kilowatt charger, 20 to 80% will take only 50 minutes compared to 45 minutes on the lower battery capacity model. Another big addition with this MG Windsor EV Pro is now ADAS. All the functionalities, you can control it from the screen. You go straight into the vehicle settings menu, you go to the driving assistant, and you can control all of it from here. You get the usual stuff. You get lane keep assist, lane departure warning, you get front collision assist, you get intelligent high beam, and a bunch of other, the usual ADAS suite. This is honestly quite useful on the highway. It works well, it's not very intrusive, haven't had any scares today, but honestly, ADAS is not so useful in the city. It's quite intrusive in the city. Strangely, MG still hasn't given the Windsor EV traction control. It has ESC, but you can very easily just spin up the front tires. Today when we were driving, it was really wet. If you gassed it really hard, it would spin up the front tires, and that's not quite nice. I don't know why they would choose to leave traction control out while giving ADAS. And all of those things aside, the Windsor Pro stays pretty much the same as the regular Windsor. You get the same brilliant packaging, you get the same technology, you get the same space on the inside, the same comfort in terms of ride quality, and all of those things are exactly what has made it such a bestseller. And the Pro just adds a layer on top of that. More range, more safety. Can't complain about any of that. Come to think of it, there are two big improvements to the Windsor EV Pro that are really of consequence. One is the longer range, and two are the ADAS features. Now the question is, should you be spending that 1.5 lakhs on those two features? And there's only one way to look at this. If the Windsor EV is going to be primarily your city car, I don't think you need to stretch, because one, ADAS is a liability in the city, and two, you'll always have access to a charger either at your home or your office to plug it in. Range anxiety is not so much of an issue. But if the Windsor EV is going to be your only car, or if the Windsor EV Pro is going to be one of the cars that you use on intercity runs, then the extended range and the ADAS features will definitely come in handy. Those two put together into this already very complete package makes it more rounded and makes it more complete. And at the price point it's being offered at, it is a very tantalizing offer.